So, hey guys, I wanted to talk about why you should draw silly things. Basically, have you ever had this thing happen that you're drawing something and it's just not turning the way you would want it to go, and we put so much pressure on it that you can't really get the idea on this page, but nothing is going out the way you would want. Today we will talk how to kind of manage that and why you should be drawing silly tiny little things. Let's get into it. Hey guys, if you clicked on this video, maybe you were a little curious. Why am I saying silly things are important? I mean, kind of the name already says it, it's silly, so why should it be anything more? Well, sometimes the best way to beat the blank page isn't by forcing the perfect, polished idea we built up in our minds, and it's kind of letting ourselves draw something totally unexpected, kind of weird or spontaneous, and also silly. So these silly things, they're like kindling kind of spark that fuels your inner self, that fills also your mind with fresh ideas and new discoveries. And if we're always focused on the bigger picture, we can forget how magical the tiny little details are. And yes, of course, the bigger picture is still important, but the little things are where the joy often hides. So now maybe you're sitting down with your pen, your sketchbook, whatever it may be, and thinking, but what if I can't really draw silly things? And that's okay. I've been there, and I've also used to struggle with this image that I thought others had of me, that I was this talented artist, and so I shouldn't make weird, unpolished pieces, and that's what people expected from me. Kinda wild, I think, at least. But you know, how else do we learn if not by making a bunch of bad paintings first? So little by little I looked for inspiration. I basically stalked my friends or just watched them whenever we got together and saw how much they had fun by creating their little quirky characters or them turning everyday objects into personalities. And honestly, I always enjoyed whatever they made, and I loved their pieces and silly drawings, and I think this whole love and spark thing that was going on with the pieces, I don't know, it just fueled me, and I think it fueled them too. Yeah, because those pieces were so personal and unfiltered and little pieces of their inner child, so there's something so sweet and pure about it. And sure, polished work can have that too, but this silly art, it's something anyone or everyone can tap into. It's just so honest and it's fun, and it's something that resonates with a lot of people, not just artists. So funny enough, when I started adding silly little guys into my own work, those were the parts that people just connected with the most. So the joy, the positivity, that's kind of what I want you to strive for, and not from others, but from yourself and to yourself. Just give it to yourself. And yeah, that's when the magic really happens. Also, with silly things, the trick is they can't really be forced. You can work with them or try to replicate them, but in the end, the ones that stick are the ones made from the heart. So, no overthinking, no filters, just pure you. Let out that inner child and just figure out what you want to draw. You know, it is something that you see or something that you feel. It really is that simple. So, how did I get started? As I said, I struggled quite a bit at first. My inner self was locked up tight, hard to reach, so I began by imitating others, and surprise, surprise, I didn't like what I made, but that's part of the process. You just need time to learn what works for you. Especially a lot of people, ask artists how did they find their art style, and it's not a one-way recipe where if you apply it it will work for you. And I think it's such a learning curve, and it will take huge amount of time, and it always shifts, so there's no real one way of like the art style that artists have. A lot of artists actually have multiple art styles, so just learn what works for you and do it for you. If you like a thing, then just nurture it, But yeah, eventually I shifted my mindset, and instead of replicating or trying to figure out what I liked, I just asked a question and said, what if I make something I've already done but smaller? And it was so easy. I don't know, it just clicked. I clicked one day and it actually worked. So if you've seen my art before, you probably noticed some tiny little guys hiding in my bigger pieces, or whenever I draw animals, they kind of sneak in and they are part of the bigger piece. And that's how I started. I just let the little silly guys sneak in just a little at first, and now I feel like I've transitioned into more serious things that are silly. It's hard to explain, but I just have so much more joy that's flushing in my art, and I think you can definitely notice that in my recent pieces. So yeah, honestly, I guess that's what made all the difference. So here we are 1 year later. Basically, when I started my YouTube video, it was somewhere in March, I think. But yeah, I'm so much happier with my art now, and honestly, it is because of these silly little things that I've drawn, and they've given me kind of permission to experiment more, to do weird things, or to throw in unexpected colors, or just also to try new materials. And I think it's just because then the pressure is off, and when that pressure is gone, you can finally tap into whatever you want to create, and it can kind of surprise you too, because it's something that you don't really think about. At least my brain is off when I draw these things. When I drew the biblically accurate angelfish or this silly fish. So yeah, that's why I believe it's so important to let some of that silliness flow out of you, and it doesn't have to look like my kind of silly. when it probably shouldn't because we're all so different. People are so different from each other, and whatever silly thing is in your brain will be different from my silly. So that's why I would also encourage you, find your silly part and don't overthink it. It can be also super simple. I've seen people add tiny little butts to stars or draw sparkles with faces, so it's nothing that needs to be overthought because we already overthink our big pieces, the ones that we add the pressure on. So for example, the other day on a plane I drew a fish with arms and it's so cute and weird and it made me laugh, and I just went on in exploring the guy a little more and just drawing it with some silly things to do, and that's kind of the spark you're looking for. To start small, maybe just it can be like a doodle in the corner of your sketchbook or just piece of paper or receipt whatever, just somewhere that doesn't feel too precious, that you value, I guess. And just think of something you love. For me, I love goldfish right now, so I thought, what if this goldfish that I'm drawing had arms? And just like that, it kind of became something silly and fun. And you know, maybe you love flowers, so what if they turned into tiny caterpillars? Because then it would be kind of funny since they eat plants. So you know, this ironic kind of type I love to do is just what I think is silly. So yeah, just take time and find your silliness. And the best part about stuff like this, you don't have to love every single doodle you make, but even the ones you don't love, they can spark ideas. One little doodle can lead to 5 more, or maybe from those you find one that you really love, or you love the idea so much that you can make a bigger piece out of it, or it's like the piece that you will put more pressure into, but it started out as something silly and tiny and just something that you can evolve into, yeah, something bigger. So I hope all of this makes sense, and I hope it helps you unlock a little creative space for you. But remember just to take time and explore the inner artist. Okay, so I really hope you enjoyed my rambling about why you should draw silly things, and I really hope you understood some of it and it resonated with you. Let me know in the comments if it did or did not. But yeah, let's talk about what we're drawing today. So yeah, I just dropped my yellow acrylic marker, so things like that can happen for me. I sometimes tend to pick up items quite with emotions or I don't know, like very fast, and they tend to fly around. Anyways, I'm rambling, but today we are drawing silly goldfishes, and the first one was the one with the wings, and that one I just really wanted to draw wings. And yes, I know I've said this before, I hate drawing wings, so this time I decided let's not really do feathers, because feathers are the thing that I struggle the most. And so I just decided to think about the shape more and I really wanted him to have his wings be like propped up, and he's like all cutesy and has 6 wings because why not? And I really like how he turned out. So this is why I love talking about how silly things can just spark this joy, because previously, like with my art, sometimes I don't get this joy from when I'm done with the piece, and that kind of sucks, you know. You would kind of want to like your art, you know. We're the biggest critics, and it's nice to sometimes have something that you really like to look at. So then we have the second fish that at first I thought I could make into this devil kind of fish, but it wasn't really working out. So if you did notice, he still has tiny little wings, and I decided to just add that as like a memory of the devilfish that I tried to make. And maybe that's why he's also crying, but to be fair, the crying is mostly because I just wanted to have fun with the eye shape. I've never really done one of these blobby ones. I usually just separate the tear. So he's a little bit different, and I love the colors, how they turned out, and how he is super shiny, even though at the start I also was thinking I don't really like where this is going on, but you know, I pushed through the ugly phase and that's where we are, and now I like him, and I like all of these kinda so much that I will be making stickers of the angelfish and the pink one and the computer fish that we will get onto in just a little bit. But basically this whole spread was just my random ideas. So yeah, while I was drawing or painting the second fish, I just decided randomly I'm gonna draw a little page error. Yeah. Anyways, I've been talking too much. But then I decided, you know what? What if I try to make computer screen into a fish? And I was struggling at first because, you know, it's such a weird shape, you know. The fish is very rounded and computers are very cubey. So it was interesting to see how it could be done, but you know, I thought let's just do it, let's experiment. And I also decided to add for the face that it's on a sticky note, but I don't know, maybe next time I should do it on the screen. But yeah, I thought it could be cute as like a pink sticky note for kind of the more fishy vibe. I don't know. But I think it looks cute and we can definitely explore it more. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed the video, and I think my favorite piece is the biblically accurate angelfish. So yeah, let me know which piece was your favorite. But yeah, thanks for watching and I will see you next time. Bye!
Hold me tightly like I was there, and whisper softly in your ear that everything is gonna be alright.